Hi, kings and queens. Today I'm here to talk about 5 questions to ask on a first date. A first date is not an interview. Let's be clear about that. They are about finding out how you interact with each other, what the vibe is. But I still think that it is useful to get this information to really assess compatibility so that you can find out from the jump whether or not you think that this is aligned, rather than not getting this information, getting 5 dates down the track when you're a little bit more invested and then being like, oh, that doesn't really fit. Okay, so then you'll have a problem on your hands. Now, I'm speaking from experience. I've been on hundreds and hundreds of dates, and these have never really led me astray. So I'm passing them on to you so that you can make good choices, good choices in your dating life. So the first one is, what is your experience of dating? This really gives you insight into how they approach dating. So if they say something like, yeah, it's great, I love meeting people, then you can probably take from that they have a pretty active dating life. That's something that I used to say when I was dating a lot. Now that I'm not in that place, I will just be open and say, yeah, I don't really date that much. I don't really find people that I'm that interested in. Also, my life's pretty good. So basically, if I want to spend time with someone, it has to be a good connection. And before, I wasn't as discerning, right? That is why I have been on so many dates. So then you have that information, and it is up to you to make of that what you will. But I just think that certainly in my experience, I've had guys that I've been on dates with that were very like confident and outgoing, and sort of getting the idea in my head that, maybe they talk to a lot of women, or maybe they see a lot of women, or whatever. Especially with things that they've shared maybe about how they were when they were younger, but then actually them sharing that they don't really actively date as well. So getting that confirmation that we were kind of on the same page is really, really helps, I think. But you also don't have to be on the same page, okay? This is not like a license to judge someone. It's just information. Number 2, finding out about their family, especially their opposite sex parents. So you can say something like, tell me about your mom, tell me about your dad, and really pay attention to whether they use facts or feelings to describe it. So they might say something like, yeah, like my mom's a teacher. Or they'll be like, oh, she's just a wonderful woman and a rock, or whatever, however they describe it, right? And what their energy is. Because you can tell a lot about how someone sees partners and what their expectations are by their relationship with their parent. That is just like psychology 101, imprinting, right? It's our very first attachment that we have. Number 3, what they do in their spare time. This is going to help you to decide whether your lifestyles are compatible, right? If they are someone that wants to stay indoors gaming, no judgment. But if you are someone that is very social and likes to be out all the time and want to share those things with your partner, then maybe there might be a compatibility issue. If you're someone that likes to travel a lot, if you're someone that likes to go overseas a lot, and you are with someone who is just very comfortable staying where they are, doesn't really want to expand and explore further afield, and is not open to that, then that's also a potential issue. With all of this stuff, openness to trying things, to getting out of the comfort zone, or to like meet you where you're at is very important, right? So it's not necessarily about what the answers are. It's just like, are they prepared to do things with you? Are they prepared to share the experiences that you want to share with them? Fourthly, whether they steal all the attention, like my little friend here. No, that's not really one of them that I wanted to say, but actually I do think that is important. Like, what is the dynamic? Sometimes you will go on dates with people and they will talk at you for hours on end. And sometimes I think it's nerves, but self-awareness goes a long way. I can only speak from my experience, which is dating men. There are some men who It is like you're watching a show. It's like they're trying to entertain you, and they see the role of women as like the audience. So just watch out for that. That might be the same for some women as well. I can't speak to that. Fourthly, the real fourth is what they're passionate about, because it's really important to have passions in life. I certainly believe, from everything that I've done and all the work that I do, is that we need passions to direct our energy. Otherwise, that energy is just scattered all over the shop and is not necessarily being directed in a way that serves us, right? Not having passions can lead us to boredom and ultimately self-destruction, in my experience. And with all of this, you're gathering information, so you can always ask more questions. And what the actual passion is, again, this might give you some insights into compatibility. If you are like an animal activist and they are a diehard steak eater, this is a silly example, but that might be a conversation you need to have, or just a flat out incompatibility. I asked this question to a guy I was on a date with ages ago. I said, "What are you passionate about?" And he said, oh my gosh, this is all like coming back to me. And funny that I use that example. He said, "I'm really passionate about animals and animal welfare and blah, blah, blah." And I said to him, "Do you eat meat?" And he said, "Yeah, I do. I eat meat as well, full disclosure." He said, "Yeah, I do." And I was like, okay, so how does that reconcile with that? And I said, like, "Do you know like what goes on in factory farms? Do you know like the process and the farming practices?" And he was like, "Oh no, I've never really looked into it, but in a country," so this was in the UK, he was like, "But in a country like the UK, like, the standards would be pretty good, right? We're a first world country." This all this really told me was that this guy was a fucking idiot, basically, because you you can't say that you're passionate about something that you don't know anything about and that you're completely ignorant to, and to have like not even made those inquiries. So ignorance is not sexy. It is not sexy, guys. Number 5, off that little tangent. Number 5 is whether they like their job. If you are with someone, maybe you've been that person, or if you've ever been with someone who does not like their job, it is torture. Because we spend so much time at our work that it really impacts our lives, whether we like our job or not. That's not to say that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. That's not to say that everyone needs to be like living out their passion through their career and their work. But there needs to be some level of like acceptance of like, this is what I'm doing and I like it, or this is what I'm doing and it's giving me a paycheck to live my life. I accept that. But it's not the vibe. People who do not like their job. And I'm not trying to shit on you if you don't like your job. So maybe I'll actually make another video about what to do if you don't like your job. Because yeah, sure, it's easy to say, just find another one, but it's not always that easy. Firstly, but also there are other things that you can do that you will actually find improve your experience. It's like mindset stuff that improve your experience in the workplace and how you're relating to that job. Okay. So that's actually everything that I have to say. So I am sending you so much love. Give me a like if you liked it. Give me a comment if you have anything to say, anything to share, any other questions that you ask. Actually, I would love to know what you think is important to ask on a first date, and I will see you next time.